Yes. Hello, Ski. I am the great Gazoo, or something like that. Oh my god. I just realized that this one here on the Colo is giant, dude. This is like such a weird sketch. Okay. So. Hello. Welcome to my chat room. You get the Twitch drops apparently if you do this. Let's go. Let's see something. Okay. Now, I'm just doing one little thing, and then we open up the browser, and then we go into like this, and then we open this up. So, as I've said yesterday, today will be a writing stream. And then we won't be doing a stream on Wednesday. We will do one tomorrow. And then after that, after our stream tomorrow, there will be a little break until probably Saturday morning. Maybe. I don't know. So, to save some time on the Colo, not to say, oh, we need to save time. But I realized that the elves took a very, very long time, and I don't want to take, like, at the moment, 2 streams of, like, writing a flowing chart of, like, the Colo. The elves have, like, a lot of history. They're very involved. The Colo will be somewhat the same. So, we just start out with the Colo, right? So, Colo. Let's give them the same stuff as well. We start with the descriptor. Today we're listening to a little bit of like dark sci-fi ambience. I like that. Though it does not fit the Colo, right? Oh well. Descriptor. Colo, formerly known as Knolls, a humanoid hyenas standing at 1.62 1.8 meters. No, 1.7. I don't want to make them that tall, right? Cases of Colo growing much larger. Bulky specimen that walked slightly hunched over and they walk slightly hunched over and have they have like the tuft of hair from like their like middle of their head, like to the center from their head to like their backs, right? Bodies covered in fur. Some Colo grow out their hair. Which starts at the center of their head. And grows to the lower part of the neck. Male and female Colo differentiate. Do we ever say how like these hyenas look different to one another? I think we had that as well, right? Do they have dimorphism? They're larger. Okay, that's a bit extreme. Just reading up on hyenas. Okay, the females are bigger. The females are usually larger and taller than the males. And male and female color differentiate in that they, the females are usually bulkier and taller than the males. And no, that's basically like the main thing, right? Families are called clans. Are the most common structure. Of Colo society. Many modern Colo adapted to large families of Colos called clans are the most common structure of Colo, most common family structure Colo society. Many modern Colo adapted to other species. And limited their families to a smaller size. So basically, what we want the Kolos to be is like they are like clans people, but like where they live in clans, right? But while they do, they still like have like smaller families nowadays, because I don't see the city Kolos being like super into like giant clans. While the glade walking Kolo are just like much more sociable, I feel like. Kolo tend to Kolo tend to, they're like, what would you say? We did like say they're like sense freaks, right? Kolo tend to enjoy the live. Keeps giving, expanding their senses with new and exciting, with new and exciting experiences, often to their own detriment. Do we need to? I don't know how much we wrote for the elves actually in the descriptor. It was not that much, I think, right? Oh, it was a lot. What do we? Right, we need to like say how they still look after this. Kolo Kolo fur comes in a variety of colors, usually being gray or brown, with spots and stripes in deeper colors like black. The average Kolo is up to lives about 70 years until they die of old age. The usual usually Kolo birth. How many children do hyenas birth? Maybe we can is it? Pups, cubs, whatever. How many children do hyenas birth? So 2 is the usual one, right? Koala birth is 1 to 2 children. More often than not. With most of their children being evenly no, having an equal chance of being male or female. Content to enjoy the gifts life keeps giving, expanding the senses with new and exciting experiences, often to their own detriment. The average cold lives about 70 years and they die of old age. And that is like most of the stuff we need to know about them right now, right? Now we need to go to history before the Heritage War. So let's go with the beginnings again. Hi, O pigs. So the first records of Colo describe them as nomads in the wastes of the continent. Which one is it? I forgot again. Give me the world map, please. It would be Terra Chalk now, right? Yeah. Did we not give the Colo to Haven? Huh. Weird. Oh, the continent Terra Chalk now. How are you doing, O pigs? As gatherers and well, we're doing a writing stream where we are writing my setting that I'm planning for my next Pathfinder campaign. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, as of right now, the first records of describing as nomads of the ways as gatherers and keepers of the wastes. Even in prehistoric times, Colo word described. So at the moment we are writing the Colo, which is like in other settings the Knolls. As the basis of Druidism, and records showed that Colo even. What do we write here? Colo even. No, we're capable of enriching. I cannot write for shit. Enriching the wastelands with plant growth and magically created water. The Colo nomads usually traveled with their families. And would occasionally meet up with other clans to well, not to bond. To bond would be a strong word. It's like how do I say it? How about the most powerful druids were renowned for the ability to hook life even from the most infertile ways. Thank you. This is way better. I'm a bit like stumpy in like my writing today, like even more than usual. I feel like. Why is Twitch chat being a bitch? Nomads would travel with their family, with their families, and would occasionally meet up with other clans to I don't find the words right now. I'm so sorry. So basically, I want to find the word that does not sound like they're exchanging partners. Yeah, I want to get into like repopulation as well. How they like actually intermingled with other Colo. On the rare occasion. Oases is the Oasis. I cannot interlanguage, but yes. On the rare occasion when clans would meet, I would try to they would try to intermingle and form new families. With the other clan. Basically, that's how they spread, right? They just like walk the ways, and it's like very like dog-ass behavior, where it's like they see another dog and then like they're like, oh, let's sniff our butts, right? Like, exaggerated, of course, but yeah. With their that could be I mean, we could go into a bit more structure. And orgy it up. Yeah, I think that is also true. Maybe we could rewrite this. Because at the moment, like now, every time like clans are meeting and they bang. Colo clans would allied Colo clans would regularly German meetings on natural. The music's a bit loud. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Allied Colo clans would regularly determine meetings on natural events, natural occurrences, like full moons. In prehistoric times, I think not, right? I think most of them would just be druids, because they don't know what druidism really is. And have the druids guide the family to set meeting places according to the seasons. Yes, that's good. Druids of allied clans would regularly guide their kinsmen to set meeting places. Set meeting places. On different seasons. Now we're getting into flow on different seasons to meet up with other clans. On these occasions, the two clans would intermingle. I love the word intermingle, and produce new offspring before traveling on. Again, we're like at the very start, so we are now like describing the prehistoric time Colo. Well, not prehistoric, but like what they did when they like actually became like a full-on society. Colo would some Colo would settle down in natural places that needed tending and protecting. While most of their clans would move on. These so-called safe havens became the backbone of survival in the wastes of Terror Chokna. For the next millennia. I think like these like they just build their own like druid groves. And we call safe havens groves. Again, the backbone of survival in the west. Because like you have like these like heavily enchanted places, right? You have like this like oasis you build and then you travel back there and all of a sudden you have like plant growth happening because like just like punched up with druidism, like very very much so. So yeah, it's I think like for those who actually go into the wastes of Terra Chokna, they would like look out for the druid groves there, which is also how we get to settle some of them down and make them like easier for the orcs to find. On their travels, the Kolo would meet a tribe of other humanoids called orcs, and now shit is going down. We're struggling with survival in these harsh environments. Even lacking magical skill to even out their lackluster No. Environments, full stop. So, on the travels, of course, would meet other humanoid noids called orcs who were struggling with the survival in these harsh environments. Through not pretty, petty. Pity. Thank you. Who appeared. Yeah. Yeah. Appeared to be struggling with survival in these harsh environments. Taking pity, the Kolo taught the orcs the basics of druidism. And would guide them I think we wrote the orcs in a way that the Kolo were like the teachers, right? Big numbers, or the millennia orcs would rage, try warfare on one another. No. They were Oxford Rage, choosing to live on. Here, while bonding closer to the land they would live on. Meanwhile, the Orcish families living on the southern part of Terra Chotna would find allies in the Colo who would show them the ways of the land and the natural magics. Other Orcish tribes would ally themselves with the walking giants of Ezeko, learning about the sanctity of ley lines. I had in my head that the orcs were naturally druidic but mountain flavored. Yeah, they were a bit mountain flavored, I feel like. I feel like we lost that somewhere. Because I remember that as well, that we had them a little bit mountain flavored. But the Colo are teaching them the like true natural magic. They have like the knack for it. I think what we had was like, oh, they understood what was happening, but they could not really wield it. And I think the Colo were the teachers. They pushed them in the right direction, and that's why they were so good, because they were like naturals. Natural magics. Ezeko. Did we with the orcs? This came natural to the orcs, and as they grew older, they tuned into the nature deepened. The oldest family members, teachers, guides. To their surprise, orcs were genes were quite flexible. Where do we have that they take over the Colo? There's where they breed with them. This is here, right? So we need to go back to this. The Colo would show the orcs. Would warn the orcs about the giants. Elemental beings so powerful. They could rupture the earth they walked upon. Rupture the glade. By merely traveling. This intrigued some of the tribes. Some of the Orcish tribes. They would seek out these giants. mentorship. So we need to add that the Colo they definitely know about the giants, and they would warn the orcs like, dude, don't fuck with the giants. And the orcs would, for the ley line knowledge they gained from the giants, right? They would actually go there and just like do this stuff, ask questions, try to communicate by communing with nature, right? Over centuries, Orcish and Colo relationships bloomed into a formidable alliance. Many natural threats were thwarted by cooperating with the orcs. And now here comes the heel turn, right? Lore timeline. So here this is like around the rise of the dynasties. Now we're in this part of the timeline. We're 2,000 years before the Aetherflood. Some Orcish families under the new name of dynasties would turn on the Colo by claiming their homeland for the orcs, and would oh no, we should add the half orcs. I forgot that they like bagged the Colo. This cooperation went so far as to creating first interspecies I think we could go for this with like many of the non-druids going into like, because they were like the tenders of the waste, right? Which stopped the undead from spreading in the waste, which we established with the elves. So yeah, we could go with that niche. This cooperation went so far as to creating the first interspecies offspring called half orcs. A breed of Colo and orcs that would from the Colo standpoint signaled a new age of friendship. I think the Colo see them very nice and benign, the orcs, for the time being. Prosperity, yeah, maybe prosperity even. Let's go up. I don't know, for the next millennia. While many grew their food with magic. Those who would tame the beasts of the land and grow the crops naturally. Many of those who would no, we need to like get a follow-up sentence, because at the moment they now they grow their crops, and we need to have like one sentence that maybe like signals, oh yeah, by doing this they would like actually like remove the taint from the land, maybe, right? Tending and caring for the natural order in the wastes. Kolo would bring the essence of the Kolo would bring the essence of life into the wastes, into the land. Making it vibrant and strong. I think this is like the best to like get this like to like good consensus. But they drain the necrotic energy instead of the wetlands. I think what they do is just like if you ever played Warcraft 3 with like the undead spreading, right, with the plague spreading, and you cannot build on that, it's like the undoing process of that, right? I imagine it like this. Could you remove plague in Warcraft 3? No, it's like it doesn't matter. Right. Yeah, could be. Okay. Some Orcish family under the new name of dynasties would turn on the Kolo by claiming their homeland for the Orcs, and would attack and subjugate those who were living in the groves. This signaled the start of what would become a millennia of servitude under the Orcs, with many Kolo Yeah, I think we get to that with the rise of the dynasties, that they like just start hating them like with an intense hate, because they were two trusting ones, right? And I feel like the Kolo are now like very, because at the moment the Kolo are the nice guys, like 100% nice. I think we don't have any event where the Kolo did anything wrong except for giving the Orcs druidism. The scene is the start of what we come and landed on, so with many Kolo, never knowing with the no. never knowing what freedom was. Yeah, I think there's a depression arc for them. And then we go into like do we call it give me 1 second. Uprising, Heritage War. Whoop. Wait, I can do it like this for the Vanara, right? Heading 2. We're doing this. We're doing Orcish Uprising. How many of the nomadic Kodo roamed the waste freely? Those who were captured grew deep hatred towards their half orcian, right? Which they always treated as equals to other tribe members. Clan members, right? What is not a real word? Yeah, Orcish Orcan, yeah. But we always say Orcish, right? I think in everything. We have like Colo as like an adjective, singular and plural. I like the word Colo as like a general word. But I think Orcish, we have like always kept Orcish, so we should be at Orcish at the moment. Equals to other clan members. And no, this is like the full sentence. Pronouns oink oink. I think the only pronouns that are like very clear for like an entire species are the lizard folk, because they have the pronoun I'm and him. Because like they are so like we made them so absolutely like badass for whatever reason. We just said, okay, we want to have the Skadies on our side. Halflings go by those pricks, yes. Goblins and gnomes go by Dumb and Dumber, and they always like squabble who is like who. Which they always treated, or Dumb and Gullible, right? Which they always treat as like, yeah, okay. The nomads would be ambushed and quickly assimilated into work camps that would serve the Orcish dynasty. That owned their land, fulfilling many tasks of pretty many tasks, many physical tasks. And slowly, no. Do we make the distance from druidism during this time? Or are the orcs smart enough to use the druids so they don't need to be druids? Because we know, like, over time, like, once they take the gnomes, the orcs just stop being druids. Because they attack the gnomes with druids still, and then all of a sudden they stop. Once they have, like, the elves, like, for the most part. Yeah. So they would just use the they would just like phase out their druidic duties to the Colo, right? Colo for their druidic tasks. Due to the negligence. Yeah, they're like outsourcing, they're just outsourcing the Colo, right? Literal outsourcing farm system. Why the sad smiley? I'm confused. Orcs are animal farm pigs. Yes, they are. Due to the negligence. Every species of orc, but some orcs are more orcish than other orcs. Due to the negligence, oh no, necessity. The waste. Taro Chokna. Became untended. And grew more restless. Some Colo camps were we should add that they are called gnolls, right? Yeah. Clan members, don't know what I am. Those who were captured would be called gnolls. A name equivalating to yeah, that's better. I think this goes away, and then we put this one. Whoops, shit! Give me heritage war back. And then they just work, right? Like you would think that like much of this is like, oh yeah, the Orcish uprising would be like the big gnoll part, but I feel like the Colo part, right? But like for the most part, they would just like work and reproduce, right? How many clans tried stage uprisings against their oppressors. The orcs outnumbered the Kolo severely and snuffed out any hopes of freedom. These small rebellions, yeah, it sounds just better. Rebellions were brutally quelled. I love the word quelled by the orcs through sheer numbers. It would take centuries until the Kolo would start receiving aid by the cat-like elves who were once conquered. No, wait. Wait. I have a better thing. Through sheer numbers, and then we go with the were being deemed highly among the orcs. Kolo would be shipped to other continents to assist in establishing orcish reign. This allowed the Kolo to build relationships with other species like the elves, the gnomes, no, like the elves, and later gnomes and goblins. Through their shared suffering. I think this is this should be mentioned that they know everyone, right? Like everyone who gets conquered is just like, oh, now they're friend. Friend is good. Do I have a good copyright free thing? Give me 1 second. I will read chat in just a few. I don't know if I can show other creators' music on YouTube. So when the newly conquered species see nodes as like house slaves. I think so, maybe. 1 second. Is this something like very, very calming, very ambient music? No copyright. When the new conquered species see no like house slaves. I figure the Colo reputation is like the Sam Jackson character from Django. They have no culture anymore other than serving the orcs and after a few centuries. You're absolutely right. I think we can have both a little bit. Because I think we need to have the seats there that the Colo will be the ones like with the others who stand firmly against like elven like indecisiveness and like getting into the conflict of the Heritage War later. So we would need to establish maybe this is an opportunity to have that either gnomes or goblins not be huge turds for once. Yes. After the elves, that orcish, orcish capture. And the goblins and gnomes. I think when they get captured, they're like still like the goblins are definitely turns, but like they're not as bad as they could be, right? They're like we're all working. Yeah, I think so as well. After the elves side orcish capture, the goblins and gnomes were integrated into the dynasties. The two new found no. The two species would start building machinery that would alleviate the Colo of some of their physical duties. Allowing many of the workforce, many in the workforce, to focus on their roots in secret. It's made the other species see the Colo as more than mere house slaves to the orcs. Yeah, I think so as well. This made the other species the Colo man and house slaves to the orcs. And conversations in secret started. Some upstarts willing to stage smaller rebellions, ending in similar failure as the Colo before them. And now we do this combined sentence there because it would take centuries for the Colo until the Colo would start receiving aid by the cat-like elves who were once conquered by the orcs. Now we're getting like into the start before the true heritage war is, right? And this is like where the Kolo do their stuff. Where the Kolo and the elves are interacting now. The elves would give intelligence to the Kolo and their allies, while allowing them to while helping them to stage slave uprisings in many different dynasties, sowing the seeds of rebellion in the lands of the orcs. While these conflicts were unsuccessful at first, some would gain traction and would force the orcs hand by no, orcs with like this, right? Force the orcs hand by focusing on damage control instead of conquering. These were the foundations of many escalations between the orcs and their subjects. Ending in the Heritage War. And that's where we would go, right? There we go, Heritage War. What is Heritage War? Because this is what they do, right? They are just like works. It's like weird how little this is, but they're not doing much with what we wrote. But I think much of it is like also post-Heritage War. Yeah, they have no history anymore, right? Like they never they got basically snuffed out by the orcs before establishing proper culture. Yeah, that's what I mean. They were like trying to establish themselves, and then like similar to the Kitsune in the Crownlands, where the Kitsune were like actually like building societies and these like decoy villages. And then the while the orcs were just like snuffing them out. It's just so weird because like this is like the basis for like all the escalations in the future, right? And it's like very short on this end and very long on the elven end, but the elves do so much shit in the background, while the Kolo are just like, as you said, have no recorded history really, right? Which is why they will split up in like the modern times, where like some are like, oh, we're going into the cities and get our shit rocked by drugs, and then you have like the others who are like the Kolo on the ground, who are like, oh no, we need to repair everything. I think so as well, because remember what the allies are during the Heritage War. Yeah. Exactly, because look at the allies, like, the Heritage War reads like, oh yeah, it's like, finally, the slave uprising against the orcs, right? But like, from the perspective... Yeah. Because like during like the Heritage War, they have like the worst allies ever, right? Like literally, they have the worst allies. They have the gnomes, the goblins. They have backing from the halflings, which is like literally like having like me getting some Marvel knowledge, having like Doctor Doom on your team, right? And then you have like the elves, who are just like playing chess in the background so they don't get like fucked over after they became vampires. Yeah, Dr. Doom rewards loyalty, yeah. Then they have this, and then they gain the dwarves, who at this point were just neutral and tried to make a profit, like gaining on the suffering of everyone else, right? Because the humans, I think, and I'm not even like exaggerating, I think if the Colo would have chilled, like if the humans would have appeared here, they and the Colo had like a very good relationship, because they would not know about each other suffering and losing everything. But yeah, they didn't. So yeah, the Heritage War is like, it's like of course it's like something positive because they emancipate themselves from the slavers, but it's like also very horrible because the guys who like get free are just angry and bitter like people. Anyways, Heritage War. So, and the once we Heritage War officially started, the Colo became the front line in the rebel forces, being the most physically equal to the orcs and magically adept spellcasters. Yeah. Most of the spellcasters on species-wide scale. Like, most of the Colo would be like getting into druidism, right? They would be all druidic warriors all of a sudden. But the elves, again, the elves would take the title of magically adept spellcaster. If they like would be a huger number, but the Colo are everywhere, right? Because they were like still repopulating because they needed more to combat the orcish demand for like food and stuff, right? So yeah, let's do like this. Species-wide scale. Yeah. The most physically equal to the orcs magically, yeah. The widespread rebellion of the Colo would signal the downfall of orcish infrastructure. with their entire food production being reduced drastically. Many dynasties would fold under Colo rebellion, not because of military might, but because of attrition. While they were supported by their fellow rebels, it became abundantly clear that the Colo were sent to the front line because they were deemed exposable. The Colo grew resentment towards their allies. Similar, resentful, yeah. Thank you. Resentful towards. It goes goes full circle, right? Towards of fucking hell of their allies. Similar. No. You don't need to be sorry. I'm fucking up. It's like, all right. That's why I'm so thankful that you're here, because my writing would be as if, like, imagine how much you helped and corrected me. It's like always good to have someone who looks like over you while writing. And I have to say, I know it's like I say thank you after every stream, but I felt very, very much more comfortable with just writing on stream and everyone being able to read, because at the start, like during the first two parts, with the first part not being available anymore because of porn, the entire writing process on stream, you put yourself like into a very vulnerable space, right? You put like your mind space into the internet, and everyone can criticize it very heavily. And we have like a very positive thing going on, which is like a constructive thing, which is like very, very cherishable to me. It's like very, very pleasing to me. It gives you much more confidence in what we do, which is a great feeling. But yeah, anyways, the Colo Groove is in for the allies, similar to their own kin back in the days of their betrayal. The ever-growing tension would force the Colo's hand to make a decision, to make an ultimatum of their allies, with their allies. Yeah. Because now they're rebelling, right? And now they like Colo leadership made an ultimatum. With or towards? With, right? With their allies. They would need to get involved on the front lines themselves. Or the Colo would to the allies, thank you. Gave an ultimatum to the allies. Yeah, you see, I'm not like there in the right headspace. Gave an ultimatum to the allies. They won't need to get involved in the front lines themselves, or the Colo would retreat. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, it's like such a weird sentence, dude. Oh my god. Sorry, today's not my day. I was like actually thinking before the stream, I was like, oh, today is like a bit, I'm not like mentally like 100% on top. I mean, I was like thinking, do I do Marvel Tokon today? And tomorrow we do writing. And then I said, nah, because like, by the way, today and tomorrow will be streams. And then I will be gone until Friday because I will be gone for 3 days. Presumably, it could be even the weekend. That's the case. No streams on weekend. Otherwise, we will do 2 short streams in the mornings of like both weekend days. I try to promise that because I will have the time for this. Colo would retreat, and the Colo or the Colo would retreat. From the conflict altogether. The elves staying in the back, in the shadows, orchestrating, staying in the shadows. Orchestrating from a safe distance would also need to be officially involved in the conflict. I think that's the point where like everyone else is like, okay, we need the elves in as well, just as a thing. And this is like started by the Colo, who are like, dude, we're not like throwing our lives away, we're just dying so you can have like rebuild in the background, and that's not fair, basically. And then from this, the rebels decided to keep working together and give into the Colo's demands, forming a proper alliance that would defeat the Orc dynasties. And no, would defeat the Orcish dynasties. With their oppressors defeated, the orcs would no, those orcs who helped in the rebellion were spared, much to the disliking the gnomes and goblins, who were surprised to see the yeah, I think that we need to add this as well, because otherwise it sounds like, oh yeah, they just say, okay, let's use the power of friendship and beat the orcs and they win. Was surprised to see the Kolo on the side of those who would not see the species exterminated. Yeah, you're true. True. I know, we keep that there. And then, with her presence defeated, the Kolo spared. I think we should add this because this is like a very important decision that like the Kolo were, no, we spare the orcs. We're not exterminating them. Yeah, true. The Kolo would migrate back to their homelands. Yeah, I think the Kolo are very similar to the Athamaru, where like the Athamaru are too underwater and very, very, very backwards. The Kolo are just because they were like, yeah, when the Kolo are doing this like on the land because they were oppressed, the Kolo would migrate back to their homelands. Was tarnished by the orcs' rapid expansion, where they where many more would die due to the corruption of the land. Perish is good. Perish to the corruption of the land. The disease. Yeah, that's a very good one. The land diseases and hunger due to lacking orcish planning and efficiency. That's a very good quote. Is it from somewhere? Because otherwise I would build it in. Many would say that There will come a time when the voices of the soil and seeding with all these seeding laments. Many ancients have said that blah blah blah, which for the Colo would become apparent. Is now. And then we're in pre-Aetherflood, right? Now the Colo are starting to build societies. Because now they're like all dying, which is great for them, right? And looking into, yeah. Pre-Aetherflood. Before we do a pre-Aetherflood, we are getting something to drink. BRB, give me like 2 minutes. Okay. So pre-Aetherflood, the Colo are doing their shit now. Nice. And the music stopped. Music. Hello. Let's hope that the music is good. Well, it's okay. Pre-Aetherflood, so almost societies. We're rebuilding or finding their footing on the global scale. The Colo, on the other hand, needed to survive. Needed to fight for survival. So this comes because they are now basically in this weird spot where they go into their waste that they've tended for millennia, and now all of a sudden everything is horrible, right? Colo would use their basic understanding of how a society looked like and imitate structures. This would this would fail, however, because the Colo did not have the established power dynamic. The established power dynamics. Like the dynasty said. And would not attempt to impose... no, it would not attempt to recreate not dare to recreate a society, build. What about reclaim? Yeah. And I'm thinking, the Colo would basically understand how society looked like and imitate orc structures. This was very because the Colo did not have the established power dynamics like the dynasty said, and would not dare to reclaim no, reclaim is not a good word. Would not dare. I want to say they do not no. I want to go into like the direction of like they would just like try to see if like a similar society like Orcish work, but like would leave out the entire like bloodlines are the defining of society, and those of weaker bloodlines are servants, while those of stronger are the rulers, because they would have like a very bad reaction to this. I feel like as a society as a whole, if someone would start that shit. This is where I want to go with, right? With like establish a society on the same principles. Yeah, that is good. Because Orc Society worked because they had the copy the tens of their former masters. No, I think is that, oh, that's better, yeah. Tenets. Tenets is such a good word of former masters. Because like I think Orc Society worked because everyone was in like this, yo, the family is like defining of who you are. You're like family people. And the Kodo just don't have this. Especially since I can't see the orcs just breeding Colo by design, like saying like, oh, we need stronger workers. Here's 2 strong workers, let's breed them, right? The struggle would force the Colo to rethink their position in the world. And now we go into the depression arc, right? Rating an age. Not of angst, right? World. Realizing that that they had no history or culture to speak of. This would lead the Colo into an age of self-discovery. Returning to their nomadic roots and communing with nature. We're going a little bit into like the route of them like going back to what they formerly had, which was like their culture that was like slowly establishing, right? Where they would like actually like at some point have clans and circles and stuff like this, right? But we're not letting them get there. That's very important. They're like not establishing real societies. Because what they did not do in like thousands of years, right? They will definitely not do in like a few hundred. With like imagine like developing society from the ground up within like 300 years. Manicolo would go back to their roots unknowingly. Becoming wardens of the wastes. Building it up to be as beautiful as it once was before the orcs took over. Do we not give them like any society? I think so, right? They don't keep societies. I don't see them like actually forming a society, which forces them into like this split up mindset later on, right? They don't have a culture. They will never have one. Well, they have one in the modern times, but it's not a good one, right? So I'm thinking where to go from here. would some clans actually spread out to like the different parts of the world and start tending there? Because we know that the giants, we haven't talked about the giants in this like very much with another like nature-based ancestry, but like the giants do not like the Colo very much. As far as I remember. If I remember wrong, correct me, but I think we said the giants were like, oh yeah, the Colo are kind of cool in the aspect that they want to tend the world again. They cannot hover with a mouse for shit, dude. Where are my Colo boys? They respect the Colo's efforts to bring back to its former beauty, but do not enjoy their company for long because it knows hedonistic tendencies. Yeah. So, let's get back to the Colo. Many clans would venture out into the farther reaches of the world. Seeking purpose, understanding, and while they were always welcome in their former in their allies' homes, no, in their allies' cities, the Colo never felt never felt home. Do we go more into detail here? Because the Colo don't do more in theory, right? In pre-Aetherflood. They're not involved with Project Aether. They are roaming the world. Could we insert them into something? That makes sense. I have one thing. When some clans went to no, when some clans from Aeolchina regrouped with their Colo allies on Taro Chokna, they would argue that the Gnolls, no, not the Gnolls, sorry, the Colo's approach, I can write the Colos approach to cleansing the land was wrong, and that much like the lizard folk, of Aeolchina, they should tame the land with their magic might. The other clans would cast these Colo out promptly. Forcing them to leave the wastes. To stop the corruption of the land to spread further. We don't have many thaumaturges, I realized. Do we make some of the thaumaturges? I don't know. Because I can see them, like some of them strike me as bards. Yeah, later on they're absolutely bards, right? I thought thaumaturgy is one of the minor races. Yeah. I have another one that I want to give thaumaturgy to, and that is like one tab I've opened that you don't see. It would be the Vanara. They would be interesting as thaumaturges. A little bit, but we can get City Coders might like it. Maybe. We would see. We would see where the writing takes us. So they spread them further. The other Colo piss off. Some of these clans, some of these outcasts would form their own clans. Fighting their kin on their homeland to gain control. To gain control of the land they thought was rightfully theirs. Yeah, the city kobolds, like I can see them, yeah, doing this. With the through these minor conflicts, many Colo found their meaning in safekeeping the planet from corruption, which is like how we get into like their role on the land as like the tenders of like Ezeko want to like undo the Aetherflood, right? The meaning in safekeeping the planet from corruption. Through these minor conflicts, many Colo found meaning in safekeeping the planet from corruption, and would start forming druid circles that would spread out to the different biomes of the Yeah. At the moment, yes. That is true. To the communion. Yeah. Right. Let's do it like this. In the aftermath of these conflicts, the Kolo patron deity. Did we ever establish it? What it was? Gods and religions, patron deities. We have only patron of the Kolos. Let's call him Ivan. It needs something yippy, so hyena like, right? Let's take Eurom. Rightfully theirs. In the aftermath of these conflicts, the Kolo patron deity, Euron gave the Kolo a task. The Kolo would, the Kolo should find meaning in safekeeping the planet from corruption and shall start forming druid circles that would spread out to the different biomes of the world. Life, growth, death. But we have a bit of death in Saint Amatus, right? I mean, like, for the patron deities, everyone should have a basically omnipresent deity with a focus on something, right? It's like just the patron deities are just like monotheistic deities that just have like all stuff under it. Ah, okay. Let's do this, like, write this in here. Okay. Guardian of the Cycle. Okay. So back to this. Bounds on the world. When they started. Yeah, we need to do this as well. Oh my god. You know, that is like one of the things I just realized also today. I was like, yeah, so we have like all of this lore, right? We are doing all of this lore, which is fine. This is good. This is fun. And then I was like thinking, bro, there's like so much, so much that we're like in the, and I'm not even kidding. When we have like everything done, we have like, I would say 10 to 20% of the setting done. I feel like it's not much because we have just re-established everyone, and then we need to put them into like historic context further, right? Which like everyone has their own historic context, but like the general historic context, stuff like this, right? The cycle of life, the cycle of death. What does that mean? What is a deity? What can a deity do, right? Yeah, but I'm happy with the choice we have. I'm very happy with the choice we have at the moment. If we kill more and more, we just like, I think we lose a lot of like fun in the gameplay. And we have like a very strong cast at the moment. I think we've cut a lot of fat by like excluding many of the duplicates. When they started to establish themselves. Formally. A cataclysmic. Let's go back to the Aetherflood, baby. A cataclysmic event of on a global level. Was about to start. And then we have the Aetherflood, baby. Aetherflood. That's what the name is from. So. With the Colo spreading far and wide, many of them would die in the flood. Yeah, good wording. Scatter like seeds in the wind. Yeah, flavor's good. The newly forming circles. Maybe that would not be bad actually, because the dandelion also is like a little bit of a freedom symbol with them like spreading very far. I like that very much. Newly forming circles were wilting away under the flood, the Aetherflood. Yeah. Not many Colo knew what was happening. But their instincts drove them towards rivers, ravines, and mountains. When it became apparent that the what the rightfully lost unleashed on the world, on Eziko, the Colo sprung into action. And that is like something we had like from like, I think the very second stream we did on this, like put in here, and have not talked too much about it. Sprung into action. The most formidable among them, among the survivors. Yeah. The most formidable among the survivors would would use their powers to reshape the earth and redirect the flood. The wave, would redirect the waves. Aether heading. Yeah. What's the suggestion? Yeah. I like this very much. I was like including this because I think one of the main things we wrote for the Colo was like that many survived because of them. In hindsight, because they were there and were like the druids of the setting, were like reshaping, basically like redirecting the Aether and like building dams and shit just so like other people survived. Yeah. True, they're still farmers, yeah. One second. Oh, now I get it, yeah. Okay, yeah. Their expertise in shaping the land and tending the lands would become one of the most I don't think so yet. I think that will happen in the Darkened Age. I was like going there as well, where like the wastelands are just becoming like the main thing where like the Colo will, because I feel like the land Colo with like them also again, the job of the Colo on the ground will be that they are the tenders of the land and they will undo the damages of the Aetherflood over time by just like working the land, forming it, shaping it, right? They're just like terraforming the planet, or like over the next millennia, hopefully the Aetherflood will be gone or not. And I feel like they would use the magic and like sprouting the wastelands into like this giant ass like not field but like fruitful land that would be like the main source of like harvest for like many cities, right? Because that is like food is like one of our main problems with the setting at the moment. And like of course if everyone can like gets taught magic, if they are able, they will mainly provide food, right? But I think the Colo will just like in general just to like afford also the efforts of like environmentalism. Basically the environmentalism costs money And I think to earn the gold, they would like absolutely like be farmers and provide the metropolises with like food. The expertise in shaping then will become the one of the most become one of the most crucial tools the survivors had in the years. Yeah, I think that I don't want to kick them too much right now, even though we said we would, because it would not fit them right now. I think similar to the humans, they are made for survival, right? Yeah, I think we kicked them already enough. They lost like most of their good druids while spreading out, while their deity said, yeah, do this. So, yeah. As it goes surface. And then we go into in the year of yeah. Here comes War of Unity, because that happens right after. After re-establishing, no, after stabilizing the supply. No. Okay, 1 second. After the Colo regained their composure and focused on providing assistance to those in need. The forces of the Changeling! Finally. The force of the Changeling appeared and tried to take everything from the hyena folk. How do we have them interact with the Changeling? Because at the moment the Colo are doing like their own bubbly thing, right? They did like a lot of stuff with the rebels, and then nobody cared for them anymore. And I feel like they would maybe have something with the Changeling, with the Changeling being a natural entity, right? A natural growth of the world. If we have this as a concept, would the Colo not be like somewhat in contact? No, not in contact. Contact would be a bit extreme, but would they not know, or how would they react is what I think. Because I think the Colo themselves, they would react like affronted because of the corruption again, right? Yeah, I think so, right? Because many of the Colo who spread died, but those who were like still in the other places, like the survivors of that, are just like joining the forces, obviously. But like the main Colo people are still in the wastes. So the changeling would just like attack there. We don't need to mention, oh, there's like the small leftover people of the circles, like the 3 survivors who are like fighting all over the world. I think that is very much applied. But I think what we need to add is, as I said, the wastes. I think so. That would be like a very good thing to get them involved in this as a staging ground. What also would be very interesting is, because it would give the Colo this like newfound, oh my god, because at the moment they hate necromancy, right? Which is like minus humans. We don't do necromancy here, but the thing is, what the Colo do, well, not humans, but like they would like obviously like prejudice against humans and lizard folk. But what the Colo would do actually would be like they see another form of corruption now, because now before they had only like the necrotic corruption, and now they see natural corruption, right? How like nature can corrupt as well, and that is also not good. That there's like many forms of corruption that corruption can take, and that is something that is bad. Which would also enable a very funny idea: Colo champions. Like actually, they would be like I can see like many Colo champions springing up after this, because like then we have this like do not like with like tenets, like do not allow corruption to spread in any form, right? But yeah, we get to that when we get to that. So let's get to writing with like the changeling first. The lands now infused with the Aether of the world. Became a beacon to the changelings' forces. And the wastes of Terochokna became one of main staging grounds in the War of Unity. Many of the rebels yeah, that is like a very good like thing, right? Forces the Way became one of the main staging grounds of the War of Unity. Many of their former rebel allies rejoined the war effort as the Unity. And while the goblins and gnomes were gone, the Colo would find new companions in their own foes. The orcs. Do we have them? Do we have anyone else there? No, right? They're like chilling in Terrachotna. I think at the moment I do not like that the Kodo go to garden. Do they? Because at the moment the Crownlands guys are fighting their own thing, right? In the mountains. They have like elves up here and they have the orcs up here. Did anyone else migrate to Korotna or Terrachotna? No, right? And not even the humans. The humans chilled down there and had their own lands while they were like fucking around with elves. These three fucks are just awful altogether. Well, not awful altogether. Like, there's one Nagashi formed, like, shaped hole. The reds were gnome and goblin people. Goblin alliance, right? So I would think they would migrate. Yeah. And the Isoki. Red folk from the Mirror Belt. Timely migrated into former Orcish, territories before the Aetherflood. So now they're like all sitting there doing their things together, right? And here comes the maybe the Isoki actually supplement a native kobold population. Yeah, that could be. Because now we have like these factions up here. They're awful altogether, but they are effective actually. Because we have like pretty much everything, right? We have like the elves as arcane, the Kolo as nature, where the orcs are nature as well, but not at this point. They're just like reforming. They're more martial typed at the moment still. And the Soki, well, they're like weird. They're like religious, how we wrote them, right? With their like entire like Hawaiian themes, with like they pray to like nature as a god. But yeah, anyways, Timey migrated into former orc territories before the Aetherflood. Together they would focus their attention on the wastes. Terrachotna. Having developed a clear home advantage. I think, like, even with the decimated orcs, the elves and the Kolo, like, I think similar to, like, how the lizard folks kicked ass, I think they would just kick the ass of, like, the flesh warp, right? Because they're, like, fucking stacked. You have like the three main players of the Heritage War. It's like literally like the main factions in the Heritage War working together all of a sudden. This is like such a season 3 anime moment, right? I don't feel that that they would lose at all. Yeah, they need to lose their homeland again. Yeah, they need to lose their homeland again. Which makes them grow a little bit closer with the orcs again. And lose their, like, stigma of hating half-orcs. Yes, new suggestion. Here it comes. That would be like an interesting idea. Would not be with a tactical advantage. It would be called calculated. It would be cold and calculated. Sacrifices that would stop the ever-growing corruption. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Would stop the ever-growing corruption on the changeling. And the never-ending forces of the flesh orbs. While fighting side by side as former allies for the first time since their ancestors hunted in the wastes together. Let's get the idea from the Kodo, actually. They desire the balance now and have a flexible deity who would allow them to use both. Yeah. An idea from the, from those Kolo who defected from the Elchinan would be the word, right? Yeah. Necromancy is was put on the table. Creating a blight similar to the deserts of Eochina in the scale of the wastes to to snuff out the presence of the changeling for good. While the price, while the cost was immense, with the wastes becoming an actual wasteland again. Discussions were had, but discussions were had. No. This was a risk. Even Colo leadership was willing to take if it meant survival. You roll as a deity. You roll as a deity would taught them that even a land most infertile would be turned into a garden with enough care and love. This sounds like so corny, but like this is like what they believe, right? Then we go into I think we just finished the colo today, right? Some elven martyrs. Willing to perform the ultimate sacrifice. A ritual was performed that would kill these elves. While Kolo, Isoki, and orcs would distract forces. Yeah, willing to. Yeah, this is good. This is better. Willing to bear their own patrons' spawn. A ritual was performed that would kill these elves, but the colonies are attacking forces. Yeah, he would be pissed. Yeah, would distract the forces. Losing many many combatants in the process. When the ritual... No, it's right. Ritual written in lowercase. Ritual succeeded. And the land was ravaged by necromancy the flesh warp lost their footing and needed to retreat back into the gloom. From this point forward, it became much more manageable. No, it's written like this, right? Oh my god, it's getting late. Manageable. It became much more manageable for the Unity to keep their hold of Terror Chokna's wasteland. And even though the flesh warps would resurface once in a while, the conflict was seemingly won. Then we go to Darken Age. And Darken Age is interesting because Darken Age we can do a lot. Well, we cannot do too much. the Kolo are just getting kicked down again, right? During the Darken Age, because now the War Unity basically ends because the flesh warps are driven back, and during the Darken Age, those Kolo, why did I write like one lowercase, one doesn't matter. During the Darken Age, the Kolo who survived and the far away from their homelands, established new clans and started providing aid to the survivors of the War of Unity. In the meantime, those Kolo who who were living close to their homelands started returning to their duties as tenders of the land, trying to infuse magic and vitality into the soil while using mundane farming to give this soil purpose and direction. It would take many years to reclaim much of the Tarot Chalknan wastes and turn it step by step into a giant oasis of wild plant life and fertile farmland. Colo all over the world would start reshaping the planet with the means necessary to combat the effects of the Aetherflood, trying to remove Aether by redirecting it and using its inherent magical properties to using its magical properties to help the world heal. I think they would just like understand like how the Aether like works on nature and would use the radiation from this. Oh, the century of the Darkened Age. Kodo would reclaim their role as keepers of Eziko. And no, this is fine. When the dwarves made breakthroughs on the Metropolis project, and the Colo were questioned. No, asked. And the Colo were asked. Question would be like they would interrogate them. If they wanted to join and leave the glade for the glory. A huge divide in the Colo became apparent. No, came to light. There were many of those who wanted to stay on the glade, tending it like Urol. Urol told them to. and would want to bring Aziko back to its former glory. Seeing the Aetherflood as a punishment by the planet itself. For dabbling in its powers the rightfully lost did not comprehend. The other faction wanted to leave the glade, claiming that shackling down oneself to the purpose, shackling down oneself, even if the intentions were pure and morally right, would be entering servitude once more. This would not be what their ancestors fought for centuries ago. And the Colo. And the Colo should honor their name and be free like everyone else. That's like the main 2 points, right? It's like either stay in servitude and like repair the planet, which is like the purpose they like had for like the last centuries now. All those Colo were like, dude, we cannot do this forever. We're doing this over and over again. And yes, this is nice and all. We're doing the right thing here. But like we should start living our own lives, right? We cannot like be the healers of the world and serve again. We've done this for like millennia now. Without reaching an agreement. The population or the Colo would split into what would be known as city and no, should we call them Glory and Glade Colo? Or do we call them City and Surface Colo? Glory and Glade Colo would be more like in universe, but if we call it Glory, it's like pretty funny because the Glory Colo are just like crackheads. Going like with a very, very ironic naming traditions, right? Huh. Let me think. Can't help you there. Glory is fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just thinking. Yeah, let's keep Glory and Glade Colo. I think we get into that like at the point when we get to Haven later. With most of the late Colo still living in the ways. Yeah, I think like for Colo, who's like an absolute like wreck, they call them gnolls. It's like, I know we go much into like real-world history, but I feel like it's like pretty much like a very, very derogative term, right? Which is like very similar to like other people in the world. Glade Colo still living in the with most of the Glade Colos in Westlands. Looking up to the cities. In the sky, in the glory. The brethren live. While the glory Colo would settle mostly to Haven, where they would look down upon their earthbound kin. And then we're going into the crack times. Because that is when we are in modern times. In modern, no, in the centuries to come. The Colo Nolan Wasters. We keep that as like actually down here. Wasters. Of terms for City Colo. Okay. In the centuries to come, the Colo would remain two people. Those on the Glade would tend to the lands, healing Eziko where they could, and produce food for those living in the glory, financing their endeavors on the planet's surface through trade. We have not added like in the Darkened Age the taxes, right? We want to add that as well, dude. Oh my god. You brought that up and that was a very valid point. But do we add that, or is it like a general thing? I don't know. I need to think about this. Financing through trade. Many would pick up druidism and travel the world, or even explore the metropolises in the hopes of understanding world better than before. The Colo and the Glory on the other hand. And now we get to the crack people on the other hand. Gave into their freedom. Many of the Colo would use the excuse of experience as a means to indulge in practices most would consider wasteful. These practices reach from abusing substances to gain a higher level of consciousness, to how do we say they become deviants to becoming deviants, right? Becoming deviants. That many people would distance themselves from, since their reputation was lowered by their actions. Many struggle in the lower classes of society. Yeah, we had that. That's good. Society. Being able to earn money, earn income with other vile deeds, or other vile deeds like stealing or violence. I had a consciousness until they started let's take this. Since their reputation was lowered by their actions, many struggle in the lower class of society, being able to earn income with other vile deeds like stealing or violence. Some Colo break the cycle. I think we need to like rewrite this sentence. Wait, this needs to be different. This gets like very real life political, I just realized, and it's like very bad in real life political, right? Because I don't want to write a setting where they say, oh, the Colo are X. I see the Colo as like NPCs in Cyberpunk, you know what I mean? The city Colo. Those Colo who want the freedom, but have the control. Have control over their urges. Become adventurers and travel to the planet's surface. Yeah. We can add this. This is good. Travel to the planet, to the glade. Retracing their steps and performing jobs for those with great interest in what was once lost. I think this is like a very nice, like, modern day Kodo thing. I think we have everything in there. I think the taxation thing is like something we would need to workshop in there. But I think we did a lot of like I think we did a lot of good stuff today. It's very, very good. I think this is also like it's similar. I don't want to go even too much further because, as you said yesterday, very, very aptly, that the players define, right, what is going on there, like with the Colo in modern times, like for the player to discover. I don't care. Oh my god. Document. How long is this? 7 pages, which is like not as long as the elves, but the Colos do have history. We did a lot of stuff today. I think this is fine. I don't know. If it's not, then speak up or forever be silence, something like that. For me, this is like fine enough at the moment. We should. We have added this. And then we have this. We need to draw them at some point. But yeah, this is fine. So long story short, this is a Colo. I think the Colo are pretty much done. Yeah. I think for the next stream we take on, because we don't have like these 4, I know, but we are definitely doing the kobolds next. Kobolds and Strakes should be done before any one of these are done, and then we have like all the commons done. And with done, I mean not done in a text sense, because like we did not write a text like the Colo, the Orcs, and the Elves, but done in a way that we can go on to other ventures and now can world build properly, because we have like written all of our species. But yeah, I will head off now. Thank you for watching, and thank you for helping and correcting me and writing and everything. And tomorrow we're playing a bit Marvel Talk-On because I want to punch some people. I want to get some combos, and I was like looking at like CEO yesterday, how some matches went. There's like one Ghost Rider player, and I looked at a few things, and I want to copy a few things. But we're doing a little bit of like this. I don't know if we do just for shits and giggles another story mode, because we have like 2 more left, and it would be 3 hours. But yeah, not about. It doesn't matter. I will head off. Thank you for watching. See you around, and see you tomorrow for Marvel Talk on.